Gene Silva out of the Fighting Nerds making headlines once again, man. And he's coming off of a fantastic win, a great win over the loved but hated Bryce Mitchell. But at the end of the day, he's calling for a title shot now because of it. And Silva, a lot of people are rocking with him, me included, and he's riding a lot of hype. But it's like, dude, get out of here with that. It's nonsense. It's insanity to hear that, man. He just got into the rankings, and to call for a title shot because of it, it's got a lot of people pissed off, a lot of people talking. And then Ian Gary and Yair Rodriguez are calling for title shots the same day, and just people are upset and talking about how just title shots off of losses or off of one win or when you're ranked, like not even in the top 10 yet, like people are upset. And it got me thinking in general when Gene Silva's calling for this, like how far away is Silva realistically or not realistically, like UFC logic type hypothetically, away from a title shot? So today, that's what I'm going to be doing with Silva and the rest of the four horsemen of the Fighting Nerds. We got Ruffy, Borralho, Prates, and Silva, of course, the four horsemen of the Fighting Nerds, who are very exciting and paving the way for that camp. And some of them are definitely more close to a title shot than others. We'll get to it, but yeah, I'm going to be talking about Silva included, like how far away are they from a title shot, and what are some of the hypothetical paths that they could go down matchmaking wise. What are they going to do? What could they do? What should they not do? Like, we'll have to see, you know what I mean? We'll kind of pick up on it as we go through. So just starting off here, man, with Caio Borralho, man. So I feel like he's the most far into the division, has the most experience in the UFC out of all these guys right now. Like, yes, the other three are very exciting. They're flashy. They're knockout artists, all right? You know what the fuck you're getting into with those guys, and it's exciting. And not to say Borralho isn't, but he's definitely the most proven. He's definitely the most well-rounded. He definitely just has the most experience in there, like I said, and it definitely shows. The guy, you know, he can keep up his own in the striking department. He has some solid pop behind his shots. He's got good grappling foundation, you know what I mean? He's got good IQ, a great team behind him, of fucking course, as we're seeing it. So Borralho has a lot going for him. I think he is the most simple here. I mean, arguably, because he's so close. I mean, the guy is already ranked number 6 here. I mean, I think that one route you can go with him, and this is the route that, you know, I personally might go here, is that I think you should give him Whitaker next, okay? Maybe a Strickland, okay? Like one of the two. Those are really the only two, because Adesanya's not going to fight Borralho. DDP and Chimaev are doing their own thing. I'm Evolve. You see it on your screen. We'll see. I think you should give him a Whitaker, ideally as an opponent next. You know, maybe sometime in June, July, big pay-per-view. Whitaker wants to return around then anyways. Borralho would be game anyways as well. He hasn't fought since August, so it makes a lot of sense rankings-wise. And Whitaker, you know, looking for a comeback, it makes a lot of sense, okay? And if Borralho needs one more after that, which I think he would, because I'm Evolve's up there, and we're getting into a log jam at middleweight, which is what you don't want. You want to see the contenders fight the contenders. So if he gets past Whitaker or Strickland or whatever the hell they give him around that kind of range or caliber of opponent, I think you should give him I'm Evolve next, while I'm Evolve's going to sit out the next few months anyways, while DDP and Chimaev duke it out for the title, okay? And that's obviously like to determine the motherfucking champion, okay? And it's going to determine who the best middleweight in the world is. So Borralho, if he gets past Whitaker, give him I'm Evolve, and that's a true solid number one contender fight that you could do in the meantime, again, while the title fight is kind of figuring itself out. And then whoever the champion is, give him a few months rest, and everything should work out to where the winner of Borralho versus I'm Evolve could face the winner of DDP and Chimaev by the end of the year or early next year. So it should shape up, man. I think another path that you could do here, a bit more of a simple one, if you just wanted to do Borralho versus I'm Evolve next, just skip Whitaker or Strickland or whatever. If you just wanted to do Borralho versus I'm Evolve next, in the meantime, as a number one contender fight, you could totally do that too, okay? I mean, it's interesting how people are going to want to match make this, how much, you know, time the champion's going to need. You got to think if it is going to be Khamzat Chimaev, it's not going to be the most active title reign. I know it's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to see it, right? I'm coming to kill everybody. You know, I'm going to kill everybody, but now I am humble father. You know, I knit in my free time. I know everybody wants to see the Khamzat Chimaev title run on paper, but guess what? I hope you like seeing one title fight a year, and guess what? It's going to be in Abu Dhabi most of the damn time. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Either way, if you do want to make a number one contender fight in the meantime, I mean, Borralho, some people want to see one more before that. Some people say he deserves it now. You know what I mean? Like, he does need a fight in the top 5, and Imavov could be a viable option. I mean, Imavov deserves the title shot next, or to fucking defend that spot. So, whatever it is, it's just the middleweight division. It's shaking up. It's getting heated. It's really good for a fan, but it's tough for the fighters because they got to keep out-proving themselves. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. Hey, it is what it is, brother. You know, we'll find out Saturday night. So, that's what I think the two kind of routes are with Borralho here. It's pretty simple, man. You know what I mean? The guy's well-rounded. The guy's good. I could see him, again, beating, I mean, I didn't even really say this, but I could see him beating Whitaker, beating Strickland, beating, here's the fucking thing, you guys. I'm not losing to no free spirit, motherfucker. I really do think he could beat Imavov. Like, when it gets up there to DDP and Chimaev, I think it could be questionable, but at the end of the day, Borralho is good enough, and I think he's riding a lot of momentum to where I could see him going far. Does he become champ? I don't think so, but he's a tough matchup for a lot of guys in the top 6, but so we'll see how he does, man. It's interesting, too. It's a double-edged sword because he also, I feel like, has the highest chance of losing because he's at the highest level, so we'll see, man. So moving on up next, man, to Carlos Prates. So how is this guy gonna make his way to a title shot? I know I said Borralho is the simplest one, but honestly, with Prates missing out in the Jeff Neal fight and now it's the Ian Gary fight instead, I'm not scared of anyone. I think it honestly just kind of stepped him up. It really made him kind of skip a fight in the whole process of getting closer to a belt, okay? I'm putting on your screen, here's what I think you should do, okay? If he gets past Ian Gary, because, you know, you went from Jeff Neal, who's ranked number 10, and then maybe a fight against Ian Gary would have made sense for a fight after that if he was able to get past Jeff Neal, who I honestly think, maybe this is a hot take, I think Jeff Neal would have given Prates a lot of problems. And honestly, maybe could have beaten him. I don't know if I was going to pick him, but I was fucking thinking about it. So, I don't know, man. Prates, we're going to see how far, because now he's playing in a dangerous waters. He's in that top 10 range. He's jumping right now. He's ranked, what, like 13, something like that, around that range. He's jumping right up to number 7 against a guy was just undefeated, like Ian Gary. He has kind of like that high-level experience. He's active as hell. He's a guy who has been stepping off of the gas and stepping off of the volume and, you know, has been kind of lacking finishing ability at the upper level of the division. I think that kind of stuff has been hurting him, but in general, he's still going to be a really dangerous fight for Prates, and I think Gary's going to beat him. I do. That's my pick for right now, at least, but I could change it. I don't know yet, but let's just say that Prates does get past Gary, okay? I think you got to give him two, and this is going to be maybe a hot take, because some people are going to say, give him Ian Gary, and then give him one more, or give him a title shot right after, blah, blah, blah. Like, people love Prates. I'm a fan of Prates as well, okay? I think the guy is sick as fuck. I like his personality outside of the cage. He's got a fun, flashy, dynamic fighting style with a lot of power. I can fuck with it, okay? He's a big fan favorite, but at the end of the day, man, welterweight is just, I mean, dude, I was talking about middleweight having a log jam. Welterweight is just having a great problem right now where a lot of the old heads and unks are making their way out, you know, like the Wonder Boys, the Covingtons, the Burns, the Usmans, you know, these guys are legends, respect them, love them, but at the end of the day, the new era and the new generation has really been taking over and shaking things up, and especially out of all the divisions, especially for welterweight. I mean, so many of these guys aren't even really considered prospects anymore because they're starting to fight each other, or they're getting really close to title shots, and they're each making their own case. I mean, there's a case for Buckley, there's a case for, like, JDM got the shot, there's a case for Brady, Shavkat, like, and now they're fighting each other, you know what I mean? So that's the thing. We can't just have all these guys just waiting in line and then nobody's going to fight each other. Like, they're all young, they're all talented, they're all skilled, and the rankings are really going to change a lot, I feel like, in the next few years, especially for this division. And so we're going to see a lot of ups and downs. These guys are going to fight. In my opinion, if I was going to play matchmaker, I think you do Usman versus Buckley, I think you do Shavkat versus Brady, and I think you do Prates versus Gary. You know, I think if Prates wins, he's going to have to get another, like, 2 just ranked wins. I think that's just what it's going to have to be, and I don't think it's anything against Prates because he's skilled as fuck, and it's like, you know, having to be the first person to really knock out Li Jingliang, it's impressive as fuck, and having all knockouts in the UFC, all finishes, and it's a great win streak right now, it's impressive to see. A win over Neil Magny of devastating fashion as well, like, it's great to see, but these are all things that, like, you know, for the most part, besides, like, the Li Jingliang thing, like, they've been done before, and even a guy like Jingliang, like, he's been beaten, so Prates has a lot of promise, but, like, I think in order to get a title shot with a division as deep as welterweight, and with so many guys that are really making their case, and good cases, I think that they're just going to have to be fighting each other. I think a lot of these guys are just going to have everything kind of play out, and it's going to be, you're going to see a lot of Shavkat versus Gary situations where these guys are risking their win streaks and shit like that. I just think that's the state of the division. It's very deep, it's very competitive, it's well-rounded, and it's just, all these guys are skilled as fuck, and again, maybe it doesn't have to be 2 top 6 wins specifically, but at least 1 in the top 6, and then maybe just some other ranked win. But if Prates, I think, you know, getting a win over Jingliang, Magny, Gary, and then 2 other, like, really just kind of solid names, I think that's enough to earn your case against, you know, Bilal Muhammad. Hey, you know, I'm not even going to shoot a single takedown against Carlos Prates, you know, I'm not scared of him, he's a bum, his whole camp is a bunch of losers, you know. So Prates versus Gary, really interested to see how that one's going to go. Again, leaning with Gary, but Prates can knock his ass out. I could totally see it, so we're gonna have to see, man. So moving on up next. So again, Prates, pretty simple there, man. Moving on up next now, man, to I guess the man of the hour. It's Gene Silva, the man who kind of inspired me to make this video. How is Gene Silva gonna get to the belt, man? Because beating a number 13 Bryce Mitchell, a huge grudge match, huge like featured fight on pay-per-view. I mean, this was a fight I was showing my casual buddies about it as a way to get them excited for the pay-per-view. That's the level of fight that Silva versus Mitchell was, and it fucking worked, man. So Silva is a guy who, even if you don't put him against a guy like Mitchell, who you can get a lot of animosity around, like, it's a guy who the UFC and the fans are going to start really sinking their teeth into, especially now. Like, he's becoming one of the biggest baby faces in the UFC, and I can't blame people for loving him. I myself am a fan of Silva. Like, I fuck with the dude's backstory. I love that this dude is just a raw ball of emotion, man. Like, he's crying, he's laughing, he's shaking the hands of Boba, and sometimes you're scared as fuck for him that it's gonna lead to him getting knocked out. But at the end of the day, man, like, inside and outside the cage, this guy's a ball of emotion, and he wears his heart in his sleeve, and I fuck with him. You know what I mean? Probably not my favorite out of these four of these guys, but I fuck with Gene Silva, and I'm rooting for him. I hope he goes far. I think he can go far. Like, my biggest question, my biggest worry was the grappling, and was the takedown defense, or was the defensive grappling in general. How was Silva gonna be in those dangerous scrambles and exchanges on the ground? And I mean, he fucking completely outperformed, man, and he just excelled. He excelled, submitting Bryce Mitchell, completely not giving him really any moments or takedowns in general. I mean, good lord, he just proved that he's improving quickly. He has a dangerous camp behind him, and he's going to be dangerous for a lot of guys. Now, enough of me fucking yapping, like, what the hell are we going to do to get him to a belt? I think there's two routes we can go here, okay? There's a bit more of a paced route. We move him up the rankings a bit, you know, step by step, because featherweight's starting to get stacked as well in a bit of a long jam. Or we give him a superstar route. We kind of rush him, okay? I mean, let's start with a bit of the paced one. I think that you start with a guy like the winner of Giga Chikadze or David Onama coming up, or a Josh Emmett. A lot of people are saying Josh Emmett. Like, something there. Somebody that's ranked number 10 to number 13-ish, 14, whatever the hell. Is Yusuf Salal's in there, whatever the hell. Like, give Silva, like, someone around that range. Somebody ranked, somebody good, somebody winning, or I guess Emmett's not, but, you know, hey, the big hook over Bryce Mitchell. It's going to be the murderer's row of the Bryce Mitchell fan club. Someone of that caliber in the rankings or of opponent, I think you should give. I don't necessarily think you should give Silva next, but a lot of people want it, and I think that's honestly, that's fair. I could see it. So if you want to give him Emmett or someone like that, then if he gets past 10, the reason I don't want to see someone like that is just, you know, I get, you know, playing it by the rules, very step-by-step, blah, 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 but it's just going to be a fight where Silva comes in as like a minus 600 favorite, and I feel like the best fights are the ones that are the most unpredictable, or where you can really see a lot of other, even like Saryukian versus Makhachev. Makhachev was a minus 500, but at the end of the day, that was still a really intriguing fight because you could see it playing out a lot of different ways, and it wasn't just going to be Silva masterclass, Silva 50-45, Silva knockout. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would rather see, we'll get to it, but let's say that Silva gets past like an Emmett or some shit like that. Then he moves on to an Allen, a Murphy, an Ortega, somebody that ranked number like 6 through 9, somewhere in that range, okay? If he gets past Allen, Murphy, or Ortega, I think you should give him someone maybe in the top 5. So Lopez, Evloev, Volk, or Rodriguez even. I mean, Rodriguez could maybe fit more into that mold with the other guys, but somewhere a top 5 win for Silva, you know what I mean? So we're really kind of breaking it down simply like a top 10 to 15 win, a top 6 to 10 win, a top 5 win, and then a title shot. I feel like that would be like 3 more fights. I mean, Silva right now, what is he, like 4-0, 5-0 in the UFC, all by knockouts or TKO. Some of these opponents aren't the greatest caliber of win, but you know what? The Mitchell win really stands out. And it's like some of these other ones, like, they're not bad. Like, he's beating, like, he's moving slowly up in competition. Like, it makes sense. But at the end of the day, like, the Mitchell win clearly stands out. And it was his best win yet. It was his best performance yet. So just to see how quickly he's improving, like, he could be dangerous for a lot of these guys, man. So we'll see if they're going to do it. By then, he'd be like 7-0 or 8-0 in that point. So I feel like a title shot would be very, very fucking deserved. He'd be like number 1 or 2 in the goddamn world. Whatever the hell. So now onto the superstar route. So I guess like the quicker route to get him the belt, which is what like the UFC wants to see, it's what fans want to see. I want to see, I guess, kind of like a mix in between of them rushing him and them also not rushing him. Like featherweight, it's like with Holloway and Topuria and Volk. Holloway and Topuria are leaving already, or they're basically already gone. But Volkanovski about to leave. He has 1 fight left, 2 fights left. It's just whenever he's about to lose, you know what I mean? So, or he's going to just fight until he loses. That's what I'm trying to say. So really, like, all these guys are going to get boosted up in the rankings. By that logic, right, Yair Rodriguez is like number 2 in the world, which is crazy. So featherweight really, yes, there's a logjam, but they also got to fight each other and really play this out because it's in a weird spot right now, you know what I mean? So if we want to do just kind of, if people do want to rush Silva, okay, I think he's able to kind of skip the Josh Emmett phase simply because I don't think it'd be that entertaining of a build-up or that exciting. Like, yeah, Emmett could knock him out and give him problems. Yeah, Giga Chikadze could knock him out. It's a dream. Like, that's a really good fight on paper. Both of those are. But I just feel like if they want to do something like this, that's fair, or some in between. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. It's interesting with shit like this, and it's interesting what's going down with featherweight. But yeah, you can give Silva straight away a Rodriguez, Allen, Murphy, or Ortega. So somebody ranked in between that like 4 or 5 and 10 range, just right away. You're just giving them somebody just somewhere there, and then right after that, somebody in the top 3, a Lopez, Evloev, or Volk, or whoever might be up there in the top 3. After that title shot. So then just 2 more for Silva. That's kind of the superstar route if you do want to kind of get him there quick, like UFC and fans are talking about. I don't fucking know. I think 3 more fights is probably ideal for Silva. I don't know who they would do it or what they would do it with, but I think 3 more fights is pretty fair. 2 if they're like fantastic wins or like very high level opponents. I just think Silva has a lot of promise. I don't want to see him get rushed to a title shot just to end up fucking losing. You know what I mean? That's my fear with this kind of guy or this kind of situation with shit like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I personally would do some kind of in between of both of these, but yeah, we'll fucking see. I think 2 or 3 more fights for Gene Silva, and I think that's pretty fair, man. But I could see the UFC going one of these 2 routes. So moving on to the last one we got here, Mauricio Monkey D. Ruffy, dude. My personal favorite out of all 4 of these guys, to be honest with you. He was honestly my least favorite, you know, when he was facing like James Lyontop and shit like that. Like, I just thought it was a bunch of overhype and blah, blah. But after the goddamn it Bobby Green like performance and all that shit, and just learning about this dude ranting about One Piece and just this dude in general, like, he definitely is the farthest away from getting a title shot. I mean, in general, he's only like 2-0 in the UFC, and again, it's over Lyontop and then Bobby Green. And Green is a solid win, but it's a very, very tail end of his career. Green, very old head Unc Green, you know what I mean? Serving sausages to cookout. So I don't know, man. Ruffy has a lot of time, I feel like, before we could see him in a title shot. Or not, because it's the UFC. I could see them pulling some bullshit. This guy gets a lot of McGregor comparisons. I mean, I was talking about Silva having like either a kind of moving up the rankings route or like a superstar route. That's really what they could do with Ruffy here. It's really one of 2 ways, okay? You can go route 1 on your screen right now, which is the paced route, okay? You can kind of give him 1 or 2 more unranked opponents, okay? Somewhere around like that, Bobby Green, Drew Dober, maybe like another up-and-coming prospect, Chase Hooper, Matus Rebecki, somebody just ranked. There's a lot of old... The thing about lightweight, there's so many motherfuckers. There's so many old heads and vets. There's so many prospects. So 1 or 2 more unranked opponents. If you're beating Green, especially in the fashion that he did, it's very impressive. So we can kind of, you know, maybe you want to give him 1 or 2 more unranked. After that, somebody that's ranked number 11 through 15. After that, number 6 through 10. After that, top 5. So it could be anywhere from 4 or 5 more wins for Mauricio Ruffy. That would basically mean he'd be 6-0 or 7-0 at that point. Or if he keeps on winning to get to the title shot. Feel like that's pretty fair, you know what I mean? Especially with how stacked lightweight is, especially with looking how the title picture, you don't know where. Makhachev probably won't be the champ. I mean, I feel like that might be fair to say, you know what I mean? Especially if he's moving up and all this shit, and you have no idea what's going on with Topuria, Oliveira. You have no idea what's going on at the upper echelon of the division, let alone by the time that like Paddy Pimblett is champ, or by the time that Ruffy's getting a title shot. I mean, it's going to be a completely different division, especially up top. So, I don't know, man. This is the route I personally would go. I think Ruffy is young. He has a lot of promise, but I think let's not rush him into this, especially when we don't know how the grappling is. Now, granted, Silva just proved us all wrong in that regard, and he went out there and fucking whooped, not the greatest wrestler in the division, but it was a good wrestler and a good grappler in Bryce Mitchell, and he went out there and submitted him. So Ruffy, the fighting nerds are prepping these guys well. Prates, we saw it a little bit against Neal, and then we just saw it clearly with Silva against fucking Mitchell, and we know how well-rounded Borralho already is. So, I mean, Ruffy already could have that in his back pocket. They could be prepping him well with the takedown defense and the grappling in general, but we just don't know. And in general, with lightweight shaping itself out, with how deep of a division it is, whether you're a star or a fighting nerd or not, or whatever the hell, like, you gotta kind of earn your way a bit extra hard, unfortunately, at lightweight, because it's not flyweight or light heavyweight or heavyweight. Like, it's a deep division, and there's so many contenders. Whether you're outside the ring, it's hard as hell just to get in. These guys like Grant Dawson, Ignacio Bahamundes, Joel Alvarez, they're scrapping and scraping. Grant Dawson's 11-1, and he barely is able to get away in the rankings. Very underrated fighter, by the way. I'm rooting for him all the way. But it just goes to show how hard it is to even get into the rankings. So, Ruffy, man, this is the route that I personally would go. I think it's fair to say as well. But then there's the superstar route, all right? There's the route where they rush him, and I could totally fucking see this being the case. And it seems like this is the path that a lot of fans want to go down. And don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Ruffy, like I said. Like, this guy's grown on me a lot. He's now my favorite of the 4 horsemen of the Fighting Nerds, but I just think this feels very forced if they go down this route. So they give him Beneil Dariush next. Okay, that's an opponent they're talking about. I don't mind the Beneil Dariush fight itself. I just think it depends a lot on what you do with him afterwards. But let's say he gets past Dariush, old man Dariush, okay, oldish man Dariush, all right, the young. I mean, by then he'd be ranked number 9 or something. I don't know what Dariush is right now in the rankings. Let me check real quick. Okay, yeah, so he's ranked number 9, so I mean, then they're going to give him like somebody, they could do it like in the 6 through 9 spot, or the 6 through 10, and then after that a top 5, so you could see a world where it's like 2 or 3 more wins for Mauricio Ruffy to get a title shot. I just don't hope that's the case. I feel like that's a bit rushed, really a bit forced. I just don't want to see Ruffy become one of those situations, because I do think there's a lot of fucking potential here, especially with how exciting his style is, and he appeals to the motherfucking One Piece fans. And you know, I just think when they go down this kind of route, I mean, you could do an in-between of these two, and I feel like that could be pretty fair. But doing this, having 2 or 3 more fights, you know what I mean? Especially with a division like lightweight, it feels very, very forced, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think you should go with the former kind of route, in my opinion, if I was matchmaking. But yeah, overall, I think this is each of the 4 horsemen of the Fighting Nerds kind of ways to get to a title shot. I mean, whether they do it specifically or not, we'll see. Whether they keep on winning, we'll see. I mean, what happens if one of these guys loses and then they all fall down like dominoes? We don't know, but the Fighting Nerds, man, really are one of the best things, the best camps, one of the best storylines, if you want to call it that, right now in general for the UFC. So I'm loving it. I'm sure a lot of you guys are as well. So each 4 of these guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like some of them more than others, but at the end of the day, I fuck with all of them. I appreciate it. They're exciting. They're good for the sport. And yeah, man, there's a lot you could do here. So we'll see if they make it as far to a title shot. So thank you guys so very much for making it this far into the video. Appreciate y'all a lot. All the smoke here, man. All the smoke here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you think in general. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think of the Fighting Nerds. Where will they go? Your matchups. Let me know. So appreciate y'all a lot, man. Thank you so very much. And if you could help me get to 1,000 subscribers, I'd really, really appreciate it. But regardless, appreciate y'all for making it this far in the video. All the smoke here, and I will see you guys next time.